Okay, so this is the presentation for LostEmpire Immortals, and my name is Johan Möller, and I'm a game designer and a programmer at Pollux game. It's a turn-based strategy game which takes place in this huge galaxy. It's a science fiction game, and when the player starts the game, this is what he'll first see. And we have this huge galaxy. It's 5,000 star systems, and you can see we can zoom all the way out, and the player is free to roam the galaxy. So all these small white dots you see here, there are actual systems which the player can travel to. He can colonize the systems, he can find ancient sites, find information. The important thing about them is it's managing which systems do what. You can set each system to be a type. So maybe if you need some food, you can tell a system, this is a farming system, so they're very good at producing food. And maybe another system should be a trade system, so they can establish trade routes between your other systems. So it's a strategic choice of which systems manage what in your empire. And so you can, because there are these lots of systems, your empire can grow to a very large size. You can get empires of maybe 40, 50, 60 stars. It becomes important where your good planets are. If you have a really good farming planet, then it's really strategic important because you have to defend it from your enemies. This here is our capital. It's an entire planetary system. You don't go down and colonize each planet, you colonize an entire planetary system. Just take my ship here. On the map we have fleets of ships. So each of these two ships are actually part of a fleet. Right now it's just one ship in each fleet, but I can tell it to go over here. And you can see this green line, that is where the ship is moving. And then I can give it order to colonize. So now we have colonized our first system, and right now it's just an outpost. So I can change the system type to something else, for example, a trade system. And then in the next turn, there will be a trade route between the systems. We have some sciences which the player can discover. And our science system is built up from these 12 different categories of sciences. There are sciences for systems, for a lot of it is for different equipment for your ships, weapons, electronic warfare, fighter base, bombers, and so on. If I choose energy weapons, this is energy weapons. They are very long-range weapons, so you can hit your enemies from long range. And initially you just have one science, but then as you level up your science, then you can get access to even more sciences. So sciences don't go away, they stay with you all the time, so you just improve them. And then of course the strategy is to choose where do I want my strength to lie. When you begin the game you have 3 leaders, and leaders are these important persons who you can tell to manage certain parts of your empire. So for example, if I'm lacking food, I can tell a leader to be a farmer and my food production will go up. Or maybe if I'm going to war, I can tell them to be a general. Then my ships will hit harder, and they will have better. They will cost less in upkeep because they're more motivated. So what leaders enables you to do is to have a more dynamic strategy. Instead of if you want to change your strategy just a little, you don't have to go out and design whole new ships and maybe change all your systems. You can tell your leaders to perform a new role, and then your strategy can sort of move within some small space, so you can have a more dynamic strategy. You're not alone in the galaxy. In addition to the other major players, there are also 30 minor races, each with their own unique backstory. So you can see over here, right next to us, we have a minor race. And minor races, they don't really have the technology or the willpower to go out and be an empire like you do. So they just have this small enclave of systems. And then when you meet them, you can either just conquer them if you're strong enough, or you can try to befriend them. And there are certain advantages to being friends with them. You can maybe get some sciences, or you can sometimes they give you some credits because they like you. And the way you improve your relation with them is actually giving them resources, but they use these resources to build up new ships. And sometimes some mad general, he sort of takes over one of the fleets, and maybe he heads for your homeworld. So these minor races are sort of like loose cannons, so maybe it's good to be friends with some of them. You can get some technologies, but there's also, you have to be a little careful and protect your systems which are near to them. And then of course you can also give minerals to minor races who are on the borders of some of your opponents, and then of course their fleet will increase in strength. So you're actually causing a problem at his borders. So you take his then he has to take care of that. So maybe he won't have as much resources to deal with you. Okay, so when you contact the other major races in the game, you sort of get this diplomatic window, and then you can ask them to sign certain pacts. You can sign a trade pact, which enables you to do trade, establish trade routes to their system. You can make a combined forces pact so that you sort of get to see what their radar sees. You can see their space. You can perform combined attacks. Or you can even make an alliance so that if someone attacks you, they will automatically declare war with you. And of course, you can extort them, demand resources. Otherwise, you will come and conquer their planets. But on top of this diplomatic system, we also have some more covert diplomatic options. And this is done via the diplomacy screen. What you can do is you can tell your leaders to be diplomats or spies. And you can then tell them to sort of make connections with the other players' government or important persons in their empire. And then you gain influence in their empire, and you can use this influence for different actions. There are these two categories of actions. There are diplomatic actions, which don't really hurt the other player, but you can acquire his star map maybe for some influence, and if you bribe some people with some minerals, or you can get even acquire science and even a system. And then if you're a more hostile player, you can maybe sabotage some farms, or sabotage a fleet, or even assassinate a leader, which can really hurt him. The AI we have in the game, they have different personalities. So you sort of have to figure out what their strategy is. One AI player might be betting on building this giant empire and maybe hoping that you won't bother him too much. So you sort of have to figure out what his strategy is. Maybe he is focusing on fighters and bombers, or maybe he's focusing on short-range weapons. So it's not the same every time you play the game. You sort of have to figure out where's the AI going, what is his strategy. In the game, there are 6 different races in the game. And right now I'm playing the Tritons. They are sort of these watery people. They live on watery planets, and their ships have these, they carry water around. And each of the 6 races, they have their own advantages. We've tried to make these advantages sort of change how you play the game, so it's not just a bonus to some random science. So for example, the Tritons, their ships are sort of organic, made of organic material, so their ships regenerate very quickly. So when you do battle with them, you better make sure to kill them, because otherwise they will just repair and be ready for the next battle. And then we have like the humans. They build in small drone fighters into the ships, into the hull of the ships. So they always have this this force of drone fighters with them. So you have to take that into account. And then of course we have the Alkiths. They're very good at stealth technology. So their ships always have some kind of cloaking, so that your scanners will have trouble picking up. If I zoom a bit out, see, these are sort of the fog of war in our game. You can only see other ships within this blue circle, and this yellow circle is the planet scanner. It scans systems, so the Alkiths can sort of penetrate into your scanner range before you see them.